Okay, good morning, everyone. Morning. So I'd like to have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Stacey. I've known her for several years, and I've always been fascinated and interested to hear about her journeys. I invited her this morning because I really like her mission statement, which is to empower young girls, and which this is a mission that she's kind of dedicating her life to on her when she's not working, which is she's a pretty busy gal. Stacey's mentorship journey began when running a girls' summer program at Big Sister Association during a summer home from the University of Guelph. During this time, she became a big sister to a young girl and ultimately created a bond that extended far beyond their formal time together. That experience solidified Stacey's calling to uplift and guide girls towards their full potential. Before stepping into the world of mentorship and advocacy, Stacey built a successful 20-year career as a registered nurse. Here, she worked with diverse populations and gained deep insights into the challenges people face, especially women and girls. Over the past 15 years, Stacey has traveled the world to speak to women and girls, volunteering her time and start service initiatives both locally and internationally. Through countless conversations, one thing became clear. Many young girls and women struggle to identify what brings them joy and lack the confidence to pursue their dreams. These insights sparked her vision to create a foundation to support girls in developing countries by improving access to education, addressing poverty, and cultivating self-worth. With this idea in mind, the first step in this vision was born, known as Help Her Fly, and that's what she's going to speak about today. Help Her Fly is a movement dedicated to build self-esteem, confidence, and opportunity for girls so they can take the monumental steps required to turn their dreams into reality. In an age of social media, poor mental health, and numerous pressures, Stacey is committed to showing young girls that they are supported and have the ability to achieve anything they imagine. In the next 5 to 10 years, Stacey hopes to increase the number of programs and services Help Her Fly offers so we can expand our reach, support more girls in need, and create a lasting impact. We'd also like to support women and create a space where any female of any age feels that they are welcomed, cared for, and supported. So, Stacey, I'm handing the floor over to you.
Thank you so much, Deborah, and thank you for the invite to speak today. It's always an honor for me when others want to hear more about what I'm doing. So thank you for your time today to sit and listen. I'm going to keep this informal, and I do have some notes with me because the last time I spoke, I literally blanked out completely. So just to make sure that's not going to happen today. But yeah, really, Help Her Fly did start from a desire to help empower girls nowadays. And it started very humbly at the beginning during the pandemic, and through conversations with others, just learning more about the financial cost for post-secondary school really is where it began, and putting more pressures to be able to afford post-secondary school. So really that piece, we do offer a Casey Stevens bursary because we believe in girls being able to access education to realize their dreams. And we know that that doesn't only bring academic success, but it helps them realize their potential far beyond that. And so it started with collecting empties, really, and to fund the bursaries at the beginning. So we've collected over 125,000 empties and returned them, which has funded the bursaries, as well as others who have chosen to donate to be a sponsor, to sponsor girls for the bursary. So our bursary, we provide it every September, and it's $1,000. It's for a local girl attending post-secondary school, and it is application based. And we reward those who are giving back to the community. So that is a large part of the application, where they have to explain how they are giving back, so that they can be rewarded for their philanthropy in some way. And also during that time, working in my nursing career, I'm in education for chronic disease. And so at one point, one of my patients, who is an elementary school teacher, I was asking her about the impact of the pandemic on the kids in her class. And she just drew this picture of how dire it was for the mental health of elementary school girls. It was devastating to hear that she told me girls as young as in grade 6, 11 years old or so, were cutting themselves. And this urgency just grew inside of me to do something about that. And I think it touched me so much because only 4 years prior to that, in 2017, while I was away on a personal development conference out of the country, I had got the news that my younger cousin Casey had passed, and it's because she had taken her own life. And it was at that time that I had made it my mission to move forward in honor of Casey so that other women didn't have to live in the darkness and have the same struggles that she did. And I firmly believe that it all begins with our girls. You know, our girls develop into women, and an empowered woman changes her community and she can change the world at large. And I just feel so attached to this mission to be able to have some little piece in that. So after receiving this information from the teacher, I went about my way and created a committee. And a year later, we had launched a program to serve and support these young girls. And what we found through, our surveys through the committee is that parents were saying that anxiety was at such high levels in girls nowadays. Hospitalizations for young girls for anxiety and other mental health issues has skyrocketed. And they're finding that competition with their peers, but also isolation and loneliness was really leading to this. And teachers are also asking, or had been asking, for so much help because the services available, like social work or child psychologists, the services through the school were backlogged for 3 months before anyone can be seen. And there's very specific criteria the children have to meet to even get any help. And so it's very reactive versus proactive, and assisting them before it's gone too far. And teachers are also feeling like they have to provide mental health support to their students, which they're not trained or equipped to do. So in response to that, we launched a program for girls. At the time, it was for girls aged 8 to 11. And it's to help support their mental health, to help boost their self-esteem, their confidence, to create more connections amidst the isolation that they experience from homeschooling and the pandemic. And the program is led by an elementary school teacher and a child and youth worker, so they have the expertise needed, and they really help guide and help the girls navigate the challenges that they face throughout life, and help provide them the tools and the resources to navigate and to cope with big emotions as well. It's been a great success. We've been running that since 2023. We just finished our 5th session because we run the program twice a year, in the winter and in the fall, for a 12-week period. We always have about 10 girls in average in attendance. This last session we had 13, with more demand and requests to join. And we also had parents requesting support for 12 and 13-year-olds. So after a few times running the younger girls program, and we learn, adapt, and we grow and evolve the program according to parent and the participant feedback every time, so that we make sure we are responding to the needs at the time. and the challenges that they're facing in present day, which will change and evolve as well. And so we created a program for girls 11 to 13. So our younger girls it'll now be 8 to 10-year-olds, and the older girls will be 11 to 13-year-olds. And we will be launching that program in October alongside the younger girls program. And, we touch base on self-esteem building, confidence, leadership. We talk about social media, and self-worth, self-love, and all sorts of things. It's been really wonderful. The girls, we can see them evolve and change throughout the program and really come out of their shells. We really focus on providing a safe space for them where there's no judgment. They feel safe to express themselves. They can be themselves. And for a lot of them, it's a chance to see that there's other girls that feel the same way they do. So that relatability is so important, because many of them are having issues with girls at school. And this is a place they can come and meet girls of their age that are from different schools, and see that, they're not alone in their experience. We've had so much positive feedback from parents and from the girls. And if you don't mind, I'd just like to read some of the testimonial and feedback that we have. I'm just going to switch my screen here, because I just find it so powerful. Let me just... Okay, so some of, I have to minimize this screen. Some of the comments are, her attitude and overall outlook is so much more positive, and she is able to work through things that previously would cause her anxiety and distress for extended periods of time. The most important lesson she learned is that she's a great person and she deserves to be loved by herself and others. She learned how important it is to support others and recognizing everyone is different and loved regardless. My daughter met new friends and seems to be more comfortable and more at ease with herself. She learned to be kinder to herself, and my daughter is articulating her feelings better. So we're very, very proud and honored to hear this feedback. We often have repeat girls that are attending 2 or even more. We've had some coming back 3 times. Usually about 40% of our participants are repeat. We do hope to grow that over time as well. And yeah, it's just been really an honor to serve these girls. We do plan to expand our services in the future. Part of our vision is to be the one place where there are services to support females across the lifespan. And yeah, we have a lot of work to do to get there, but that is part of the grander vision. Yeah, I guess I will short and sweet end there. Happy to take questions if you have any.
Are there any questions? Monique?
Stacey, which school board are you working with?
We don't work with the school board. We tried that at the beginning, but there's too much red tape, and we actually had someone from this, an administrative assistant to the superintendent of student well-being. She was on our committee to develop the program, and even she basically told us it'll be very, very difficult to work through the school board. So we work entirely separately on our own.
Where do you get your referrals from?
They come from all over South Windsor. So we do host the program through a school. We rent a library room at John Campbell School, but again, it's not run through the school. We rent their room. And so we have girls from Tecumseh, Walkerville, South Windsor, and Central Windsor.
Great.
We
Yeah.
don't, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to say one thing, is that we want to remove barriers to access. We are the only program in, that's running in Windsor, Essex that specifically is developed and designed to address self-esteem and confidence for girls. Other resources that are out there were either had catchment areas, they had eligibility criteria, they may have been in school programs only or focused on, STEM or homework or sports, and not addressing the mental health piece of it and the emotional piece of it. That's very challenging for girls. So we really wanted to reduce barriers, and the only criteria is age, because the curriculum is age specific based on developmental levels. Otherwise, and as long as they're within those age groups, anyone from anywhere is welcome to attend.
How do you advertise then to get these students?
A lot of it's social media. Nowadays, it seems that's the place you have to be. I wish it weren't that way because I'm not big on social media, but we tend to get our registrations from Facebook groups. We do a lot of advertising through there, and we always have people tagging other people's names of who they think may be interested or whatever the case. And again, we have our repeat girls who they end up having friends that join because their parents have told their friends about the program, and so that's another way as well.
Yep. So Stacey, what kind of activities do you do with the girls? Because I've seen pictures on Facebook and various little videos. So just so people know, what kinds of things do you do with the girls that are yeah, anyways, you tell me.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, because there's always a lesson, and then we do something fun to implement the learning of the lesson. So that could be role play. To my surprise, the girls love role play. That caused me big anxiety when I was young, but so we create like real life situations they'd come across at school or at home, and how to deal with these and ways to respond to them. We also do a lot of group discussion. We do arts and crafts, another thing that they love. It might sound strange that there's, you can implement a learning through arts and crafts, but you can. And we do a little bit of dance, even, movement, self-expression. There's a whole slew of different things that we do to make sure there's something for everyone that they enjoy doing.
Any other questions? We have time for one more.
Anybody from Facebook? Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah. You can tell where I go for social media. All right. A couple comments. I mean, I think what you're doing, Stacey, is amazing, because I think we really need this, and the pandemic, I think, really brought it to the fore how much social isolation it really is, how impactful it can be. And with all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, there was one statement that I read, two things actually, but one most recently is that there's been some rumors of riots going down in the States, and one of the things that they say is, have women organize your protests. And I shouldn't say riots, because they're actually protests. Have women organize your protests, because they are, they're more compassionate, they're more organized, they're more empathetic. And so I think that role for women is, in terms of world peace, which is, part of what Rotary is involved with, is really important. And the other thing is some of the programs that Rotary does is to empower the women, particularly the girls in small outlying villages, because we know that educating girls, then they take their learning home to their mom, and then that spreads to the rest of the community. So what you're doing is really promoting that whole idea. So I salute you for doing that, and I'm so glad that you were able to come here this morning and share your story with us. And normally what we do with our guest speakers is we have a little jar of honey from our local beehives, and so one of these days when I see you, Stacey, I will give you your jar of honey. But thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words, Deborah. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. This can feel like a lonely space sometimes when it's a group of three of us trying to go about achieving something bigger that we all really believe in, and so that means a lot. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to hear what Helperfly is all about. I really appreciate it.